right there, I was like, yo, I didn't have to go any further. With Gang Starr, it's always title first, and then the music has to mimic the theme of the title. So Guru, he'll already have ideas, like I want to do a song about how I took my trip from Boston to New York and finally made it, and how it was a dream to make it here in New York. So I felt like it needs to be like a driving little, like just ride with the one hand on the wheel, not two, just one hand on the wheel riding. And I could just visualize Guru saying those lyrics about how he had to move while he's just telling the story with one hand on the wheel.
It took the last of my loot to make this move true, but I ain't even trying to work in the suit.
These records that we usually sample, your parents usually have them. Screaming Jay Hawkins is one of the records that was in our household, but I knew his style is not normal, and I'm not normal. I'm very left field. How could you not want to mess with that? Bum, 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 dun, bum, dun, dun, bum. You could do a waltz, you know. And so how do you make that go boom, 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 you know, like that's when the scientific part comes in.
Biggie. This goes out Biggie.
With Kicking the Door, I was just making beats that I felt like would work with Big. Puff wasn't really too crazy about it at the beginning. I said, well, let Biggie hear it before you turn it down, because Puff is the boss. So he showed up like 8 o'clock, and he just, your rain on the top was short like leprechauns, you know, and it was just traditional Biggie.
Get in that ass quick fast like Ramadan. It's that rap phenomenon.
Curtis Mayfield tapped into the neighborhood. It's that groove, man. I mean, it sounds like the neighborhood. You know, when I was little, you know, people in my neighborhood had big afros, they had platform shoes and dashikis on, and everything was right on, brother, you know, and get down, all right now, you know, that's how they talked, you know, so the music was the same way, you know, and I wanted to have that same connection with the streets, you know. That tone just sounded better to me than the original tone. So, Gang Starr version, it's more stab oriented. Just boom, bam, bump, bump, you know, not the whole loop.
Just a nice girl in the wrong place. Just a nice.
One of the most important parts is the respect of the artists that made the music that we sampled. A lot of us producers would be like, man, why we gotta pay for that or whatever, but the sample industry clamped down a lot. And, you know, I've been sued many times, you know, many times for samples I didn't clear. There's been people that have been just straight haters, and I get on the phone with them and totally clear up. They're like, man, you know, I like you. We need to hang out or something. Matter of fact, I got some stuff that I ain't never even released that I'll let you sample, you know. And I'm not going to let them put down the sampling as an art form, because it is an art form.
That Kicking the Door is a motherfucker, bro. I was 12 years old when Life After Death came out. Nah, it came out March, nigga, so I was 11. I don't know where the fuck I was going with that story.
My ducks, my swans, welcome to the pond.
My name is Dorian from Group82Music.com. Right here we got DJ Premier talking about sampling and producing for Gang Starr and Biggie. One thing that he said that really stuck out to me, well, a few things. Well, one thing in particular when he's talking about producing for Gang Starr is that they had the ideas, they had the title first, and then he had the music match it. And I think at that era, that worked because the producers had all the music. And so there was no YouTube, there wasn't like a whole bunch of beat CDs, maybe somewhat, but you really had to go to the producer and sit down with them to figure out what it is you wanted to rap on, right? Now it's not like that with YouTube. I can go through 1,000 beats in a night and I just pick what I want. And so as an artist, as a creator, as a songwriter, as a writer in general, we have all these ideas in our head. And so if y'all have this idea, I can tell the producer like, yo, I want you to think about me when I made that trip from Boston to New York and I finally made it. And Premier, given his style, was like, okay, I'm gonna give you something that you can ride to. And that is something that people try to capture now, but it's extremely difficult. Back then, music came out a lot slower. There was a 12-month buildup for albums. You gave the album in like an 8-week cycle on the pre-order campaign. Wasn't even no pre-order, but you gave it to the magazines like 8 weeks early so they could write about it so it can be hyped for the first week. And now it's not like that. Music comes out like that. And so if you want to sit around and try to collaborate with a producer and give them consistent ideas for something that works, hey, more power to you. But I just think it's a lot more efficient for you to get on YouTube and to really search through them beats, because there's some fucking fire on there, man. Some slap ass beats on slap ass. What the fuck does that even mean? They get some fire ass beats on there. It's some slappers on there. So I wouldn't be sitting around waiting on no producer because you waiting on somebody else. Another thing he said at the end, like he's been sued plenty of times. A lot of y'all be hitting me up like, hey man, listen, I'm trying to put this song out, but it got a sample. I don't want to get sued. My nigga, nobody knows who the fuck you are. Nobody knows you. No one gives a fuck about your music and your 32 SoundCloud plays. They're not gonna sue you for that. They're not gonna sue you until you're getting millions and millions and millions of plays. You know what? They're not gonna sue you until you're making millions and millions and millions of dollars off the record. That's when they're gonna sue you. Because it doesn't make any sense for them to pay a lawyer to go after you if you've only made 66 cents on the record. It makes no fucking sense. They're not gonna sue you till there's something there. Release the music you wanna make. Nigga, on the Duct Tape, my first album, one of the early beats I made, it was a song called Fuck 'Em. And I'm yelling, like just going off, just really mad aggressive. No song structure, wasn't counting bars, just outrageous shit. And I made that whole beat. And in the beat, like I sampled Dre, I sampled Eazy-E, I sampled M, I think. I sampled MC Ren, like, cause the song's about fuck the police. And I sampled all of them saying that, and even M when he said the shit a little bit. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. I'm not about to hit up Dr. Dre and ask him to clear that shit. I'm not about to chase down Eazy-E's estate, or at the time Jerry Heller's estate, ask him to clear that shit. This song's coming out. Y'all niggas wanna sue me, good. That means I fucking did something right. Like, y'all be overthinking this. No one knows who you are. No one gives a fuck about your music. DJ Premier gets sued all the time, and he's still using samples. Who cares? Just make the music you wanna make. Put the content out. Quit looking for excuses because you're scared. That's all it is. You're scared. Stop lying, nigga. You scared. True Support, 9/11/2020. Stop being scared, man. And just put out the shit that you want to put out. You got to be confident in your craft. You got to be confident in your style. You got to be confident in your sound. And when it comes time for all the legal shit, you deal with that later. But if you don't build a brand, if you don't put out music, there's going to be no legal shit. And you're going to be making no money. If you're an artist who wants to make money from your music, you want to get your music heard in front of an audience, we got a permanent Spotify playlist placement. It's originally $249. Right now it's $9.99. That deal's fucking crazy. Click the link in the bio, pre-order the album True Support on iTunes, and you're gonna get that Spotify playlist placement for free. Do it right now. I'm out the pond. Y'all stay true. Group82music.com. Stop lying, nigga. You scared.